Fala pessoal, tô aqui para fazer aqui um react do George Benson que foi premiado aqui pelo SFJAZZ nesse ano de 2026. E cara, hoje quando eu vi esse vídeo eu fiquei muito feliz porque realmente o George Benson merece muito ser premiado, porque sem dúvidas, como vão falar aqui no vídeo, ele é um dos maiores de todos os tempos da guitarra. E normalmente essas coisas de homenagem e tudo isso é feito depois que a pessoa morre. E eu acho muito sem graça isso, porque tipo, poxa, a pessoa tá viva ali e já faz logo a homenagem, né? Pra pessoa receber esse carinho, né? Eu fiquei tão feliz que fizeram isso pro George Benson, que tá velhinho. Ele recebeu uma homenagem sobre a carreira dele. E aqui o nome do vídeo se chama The Life and Legacy of George Benson. Vamos assistir então esse vídeo. Bora lá então.
George Benson is one of the greatest jazz guitarists in history. A 10-time
Sem
Grammy
dúvida.
winner and NEA Jazz Master.
Das
He
Grammys, meu
has a
amigo.
distinguished lineage as the recipient of the SFJAZZ Lifetime Achievement Award. His artistry embodies the
Reconhecimento de
spirit
carreira.
of innovation set
Sincero.
in motion by Miles Davis and John Coltrane, while reflecting the forward-looking vision of SFJAZZ. Born and raised in Pittsburgh, Benson's extraordinary gift was evident from a young age. His stepdad built his first guitar by hand using the wood of his mom's hope chest, a true human jukebox. He played guitar and sang in the style of virtually anyone, entirely by ear. Genre didn't matter. He even cites country jazz guitarist Hank Garland as an early inspiration. By age 10, he was already gigging, and a year later, in 1954, he released his debut single, She Makes Me Mad. By the early 1960s, Benson was touring and recording with soul jazz organist Brother Jack McDuff, developing his jazz vocabulary and getting international attention. On the road.
Cara, esse vídeo aqui em específico que tá passando nessa parte, cara, é bizarro. O George Benson com essa Gibson. É impressionante, o cara é muito fora da curva mesmo. Se tu ainda não viu esse vídeo, eu posso até fazer um react dele também. Comenta aqui embaixo se quer que eu faça um react. Mas é impressionante quanto que o George Benson já tocava bem nessa idade. Tipo, ele já era o George Benson, sei lá, 18, 19 anos.
He met and was mentored by guitarist Wes Montgomery and saxophonist John Coltrane. Formative experiences that shaped his voice as an improviser and band leader. In 1964, Benson was ready to step into the spotlight. His debut album, The New Boss Guitar of George Benson, marked a symbolic passing of the torch. It honored the legacy of
Ele já tava com a guitarra já semiacústica,
in
foi a
a
marca
new
dele.
era for jazz guitar, led by Benson's unmistakable sound and commitment to groove. Artists across the world took notice. In 1968, Miles Davis brought Benson into the studio with his second great quintet to record an album, Miles in the Sky. Soon after, Benson joined producer Creed Taylor's CTI label, recording with Stanley Tarantino, Ron Carter, and
Cara, esse concerto com Ter também, olha, é tudo vídeo que eu vou fazer react, pode ter certeza. George Benson é impressionante, cara. Com certeza é o guitarrista que eu mais curto toda a minha vida. E vou sempre buscar tocar igual ele.
Freddie Hubbard. He released his own landmark recordings as well, like 1971's Beyond the Blue Horizon, which featured his interpretation of Miles' So What. But George Benson was just getting started. In 1976, he made a bold artistic leap with Breeze It, which celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. The album introduced his signature vocal style to a global audience and was an absolute game changer. It spread the sound of jazz wider than ever before and hit #1 on the pop, R&B, and jazz charts, a feat no jazz album has done since. Benson kept building on its success with a string of defining hits, including the Grammy-winning On Broadway and the Quincy Jones-produced Give Me the Night. He's recorded more than 20 albums in the years since. He's collaborated with artists ranging from Al Jarreau to Dizzy Gillespie to Stevie Wonder and paid tribute to his early inspirations like Nat King Cole. and even started a signature guitar line with Ibanez. Today,
Eu vou comprar essa guitarra aí. É 700 euros aqui em Portugal.
While he's reached the pinnacle of popular success, at his core, he is and always has been a jazz master. His music is timeless. His influence spans across generations. And that's why, tonight, we celebrate another milestone in his extraordinary career, honoring George Benson with the SFJAZZ Lifetime Achievement Award.
Cara, que vídeo. O próximo vídeo aqui é o discurso dele. E, cara, ele fala muita coisa engraçada. Vamos assistir aqui.
This is a great night for me for a lot of reasons. First of all, coming up, listening to the incredible sounds of the great creators and innovators, Miles Davis and John Coltrane. Is this, if that didn't fill your mind up with the possibilities. And when Miles, one day I saw him running across the street towards me, and I heard his reputation wasn't that great. I started putting my dukes up.
É, meu. Mas Davis era o boxeador, né?
"Man, I just heard a recording you did of mine." And I said, he said, "No, it was fabulous, man." I couldn't believe Miles Davis was actually complimenting me.
Cara, o cara recebeu um elogio do Miles Davis, não precisa de mais nada disso.
Compositions. And it let me know that I was on the right track. My ears weren't as bad as I thought they were. But there was something about him I liked. I heard a lot of crazy things about his demeanor, and all of them were true. But there's something about people who have that kind of creativity. You can't judge them on first impressions, because they're ahead of us. They're thinking of tomorrow. We're still thinking about yesterday. We did a lot of things together. We went to Europe and did some concerts with some great musicians. I learned a lot by just being on the same stage with the great musicians around the world and meeting them. I went out with people like Barney Kessel, and they weren't lying. He was the king of the guitar. He let you know it every night. Me, him, and Jim Hall did a great tour together of Europe. But I remember one of Barney Kessel's friends said,
Era uma pena não ter registro de tudo isso,
"They
né?
don't know who you are."
Como eu queria ver estar nesses espetáculos aí.
And nobody in Europe knew who we were. And he said, "But I say, in 2 years, you'll be the #1 guitar player." I said, "No," to myself. Well, 3 years later, came true.
Isso é.
Anyway, I think the secret to it all is the reason why we all play. We love people. And honest people will tell you what they think of you. Miles didn't care. You can tell him what you think of him all day long, but he knew who he was. And he made the greatest music for our time. Those kinds of nights where in the clubs taught me a great deal. I said, if I never make a dime playing music, nothing can replace this experience.
Para
Just nothing like it. Even from the early days of Charlie Christian with the Benny Goodman Band, I knew that music was where I wanted to go. But I can tell you, a lot of these young people up here tonight, I saw them when they were young. And now they are the top musicians in the world today.
yeah. Esse é o vídeo a seguir, vocês vão ver. Isso aí é Shark, acho que estão falando, né? Tastes.
By the way, this is a nice theater. How come you don't hid it from me for so many years? I should have bought this place. I got $2 now.
George Benson com o talento aí pra stand-upper.
We'd like to thank everybody who came out tonight to pay homage to the great music that's being played on the bandstand and to give my name some credence. My father, who taunted me to death, you ain't gonna never be nothing. You ain't gonna never be nothing. I said, I went in the back room and said, that's how you come out of that mood.
É.
Your parents are your friends, and they mean you well. And I had a lot of people around me who told me, get out of Pittsburgh. I said, why? Where would I go? I don't know nothing about no place else. Go to New York. New York? You got to be crazy. But sure enough, when Jack McDuff scooped me up in Pittsburgh at 19 years old, and he took me on the road
Desas.
and fired me the same night. The same night he fired me. He said, well, you can stay with the band until we get to New York. I'll find somebody else. He said, maybe I'll find a band for you because I think there's a friend of mine who plays you fit right in his band pretty good. So I went to New York, and I never came back. And I met the great Grant Green and Kenny Burrell,
Sobre,
Jessel, and Hank Garland. I met all of those guys. But anyway, I don't want to be here all night, and I know you got to get home to your children. But we thank you very much for coming out and giving us some love. Thank you.
Yeah. E agora vamos ver então a homenagem do Isaiah Sharkey, um grande guitarrista. Esse vídeo apareceu pra mim. Eu tava só escutando, não tava muito prestando atenção, tava achando muito bom, né? Porque eu gosto muito do Isaiah. Mas daqui um pouco eu olho pro vídeo e tá o George Benson sentado lá do lado e disse, caramba, cara, o George Benson tá ali assistindo, cara. E aí que eu fui entender o resto, daí eu vi esses outros vídeos, eu pensei, puxa vida, eu preciso fazer um react disso. Interessante que ele tirou as notas de George Benson, né? Eu gostei.
Are we really happy here with this lonely game we play? Looking for words to say. Searching but not finding understanding anywhere. We're lost in a masquerade. Both afraid to say which
Esse pianista é muito bom, hein?
from being close together from the start. weeping disappear every time I see your eyes. No matter how hard I try
Yeah.
to understand the reasons that we're carry on this way. We're lost in the masquerade.
Temos que concordar com o George Benson que, como ele falou no vídeo anterior, que ele é um dos melhores da atualidade.
Both afraid to say we're just too far away from being close together from the start. Oh, we tried to talk it over, but the words got in the way. We're lost inside this lonely game we play. Thoughts of weeping disappear every time I see your eyes. No matter how hard I try to understand the reason that we're carry on this way. Oh, we're lost in the masquerade. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the masquerade.
Vamos, Xeridona. Deu de cachorro grande. Cara, simplesmente espetacular. E o George Benson merece muito. Vou deixar os links aqui na descrição pra vocês assistirem aí na íntegra. E se inscreve aí no canal, não te esquece. Comenta aqui embaixo e se gostaria de alguém específico pra mim reagir ao próximo vídeo. Que eu pretendo fazer mais esse tipo de vídeo de react. E é isso aí. Até o próximo vídeo, galera. Abraço.